I guess we'll start with Embodied Costa Rica, because that's kind of been the theme of the conversation with you and then DTO and the space that you're building there. And you built it, was it 4 years ago?
We built it. Well, we moved in here 4 years ago,
Okay.
and we had this land that we were like, what wants to be created here? And so just like little tiny baby steps at a time. But really, when people are looking in from the outside, they're like, whoa, you guys have gone really fast. I think it's just been going little by little, but it really has been going fast because we are 4 years into being here, and we have, a very an event space, a retreat center, a beautiful yoga studio that we've built, and community area, and now a pool is almost here. So yeah, it feels like this land and our hearts have been calling in community and different communities to do the work so that we can, uplift ourselves and each other's, like really self-actualization, self-realization, coming together. It's sort of where my lineage is from. My parents are from India, and that's the way I was. You would, if you're householders, which those are the people that were doing the things in the world and raising families and things like that, we also get to do our work, once or twice a year and then go back into our lives. So like a reset. People would go to the ashram, people would go to India or go somewhere and do their thing and do their work together. So that's really what we're doing. Embodied Costa Rica is a place to come and do the work, return to deep self-connection, deep source connection, and to listen again and to be really filled up. And I can share with you later on too what the acronym of Embody stands
Oh,
for so that we can talk about
yes.
that. Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I haven't been there in person, but I've seen photos, videos. I saw the map that I was like, oh my God, it's like Disney World,
Yeah.
all the different spaces on your property. It's
Yeah.
huge.
It is. It's so interesting because the only thing that we had when we came here was the house that I'm standing in right now. This is the center of the house. Very small, very humble, 2-bedroom little house with lots of windows, which I love. I think I always envisioned being in a place. And so when we came here, I was just like, what? This house is amazing. I didn't even the thought never even came to me about the rest of the unfoldings of the vision, happening here as it has been unfolding and creating itself, basically.
So it was just a house for you and DTO. It was just, you weren't thinking of making it into a retreat center.
No, we
Oh,
were originally just renting this house, and then the allies, angels, divine beings were like, oh yeah, okay, you want this?
oh.
Yeah. So I feel like, yeah, it's just been unfolding. And this is like a long time, 25, 26 years ago when I first really touched into what yoga is. I'd been doing my practice for a few years at that time. I had learned yoga a little bit from my dad, meditation and yoga from when I was a young girl. But when I did my own practice in my early 20s, I really was just like, oh, maybe one day I would have a place that I could share with others and others could come, and literally drop that dream off. Because I lived on the West Coast, first in Vancouver when that vision came through. And then I moved to Southern California. I lived in LA for almost 20 years. You know, being a yogini on the West Coast, you're really not going to buy anything. You're really not going to
Why?
own a property or, you know, that I'm not saying that is impossible, but back
Oh,
then
I see.
too, it's challenging to
Hmm.
buy something for $1 million and then have to fix it up or whatever, all the things that California.
But you built a really big brand, no, for
Embody,
yourself.
well, see, here's the thing. Yeah, but Embody was actually built. So I've been facilitating for over 23 years. And Embody was born in 2016, 2016 or 2017. 2017. It was a 1 day, then turned into a 2 day event. It was actually born as an event where I brought in some sisters who are powerhouses and leaders and facilitators themselves and myself, and we created a transformational experience in the name of Embody. So when we were building here and all the things, it just felt right to name it Embody. It just
Mm.
felt like, yeah, that's what we really envision people doing here, not just us, getting to offer and all that, but to have people that are in alignment with supporting people coming into their radiant presence, coming into their own inner confidence, their masterful leadership, as well as, in their purpose life, in their purpose world. So yeah. So it just came into like embody is it. And embody already was an acronym, and it felt really aligned to make it what our company is called here. Now it's called Embodied Costa Rica.
And what's the
So,
acronym?
so the EMBODY the E stands for empowerment of yourself, us taking the time to do the work so that we return home to our self-empowerment. So we are deeply connected to ourselves, and so that you are empowered then to empower others, right? A lot of us are really called to support humanity however we can, support our communities however we can, to be in their greatest self. So the E is for empowerment. The M is for movement. Movement, yes, yoga, breath work, dance, freedom, freeing your body, strengthening your body, all these things for your own body. But in yoga, we talk about the 5 bodies, so there's 5 layers of this body. The physical, as we know, this physical body, the mental, we've got grasps of that, the emotional body, the energetic, and the spiritual body. So these are also layers of. So movement is for all of these bodies to be cleared, cleansed, moved, so that we don't hold on to contraction, tension, stress, dis-ease. The movement also stands for the movement that you are getting behind. What is it that you are supporting? What do you believe in? What do you know will support humanity being in its highest evolution? So what is the movement you're getting behind? The B of embody is breakthroughs, but it's also breakdowns. So the B and the O are sandwiched in between the other. So there's, all these letters in this word. The B and the O are right in the middle, and I really consider them like a infinity sign. So the B stands for breakthroughs and breakdowns, and the O stands for openings and opportunities. Because when you're on a spiritual path, when you're on a self-actualization path, it's not going to be this line and everything. Oh, I'm going from here to here. You are going to be constantly in this, aware of this, because the human existence is suffering all the time. Like you're just in the fucking loop. Excuse my F. Sorry about that.
That's okay.
I think I just made some other videos and I forgot somebody was like, don't say the F bomb. And I
You
just
can
said it.
totally say the
Okay.
F word here. Yes.
Okay, great. So we're in this fucking loop all the time. So, but when we're in a self-actualization, it's the awareness that we are in the loop. So shit, I'm in a breakdown right now. Shit, this just happened. Crap, I'm down. Well, knowing that that down will cause you to be seeing an opening, something that your ego didn't see, or something that you need to see for your own evolution, that brings you to then the opportunity, which brings you into the breakthrough. So that's why this like infinity sign in the center with the breakthrough, breakdown, openings, opportunities. So those are the 2 in the center there.
Oh.
And then we go into the D and the Y, but the D is for your dharma. Your dharma is your divine purpose here, your divine, like what you are called to leave. It's your legacy. It's your, like, what am I sprinkling here while I'm here? And how can I maneuver through the world with that? So your dharma. you're, yeah, it's a whole, if you've studied yoga, dharma is bigger than purpose. It's like your essential, it's the reason why you came here. And if you didn't do it, if you didn't impart it, you would not feel fully whole and complete at the end of your time here, at the end of this incarnation. Some people have like this tiny little sliver of a life in time wise, in our time wise. But if we just come in, that's what I love about the Eastern teachings. Just like we learn right away what our dharma is, what we're drawn to, who we are supposed to, how we're supposed to maneuver in the world. That's a whole other conversation. But I'll just tell you then the why of Embody. It's a long explanation, but the why brings you back to yoga, union with source, union with yourself, your deep, true self. It is the presence that we are all looking for. It is that divine union with this present moment, with source, with yourself, and then living like that. So embody, that's what embody really stands for. And the work that happens here, the facilitators that come here, our own retreats that we lead are all in this same theme, or they don't have to teach, obviously, the curriculum of Embody, but they are in alignment with, what we're doing here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What a beautiful definition of what you do, and just like so much intention and such a journey just in one word, within the letters of those words. I nerd out on things like that. So I love that you spent that much time really putting the core values really of what you do into the name of it.
Yeah. 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 It's it's pretty cool. It kind of showed us, like embody was a word that came through really strongly because my work was definitely embodiment. The workshops and the programs and the training that I was leading were all in the embodiment field. And so it came through strongly. And then I was like, what does it mean? And it's been showing me what it means. So it's pretty cool. Yeah.
And you mentioned earlier that you started just bringing people, experts, women together to create this event. And so I want to know, how important do you think collaborating is? And do you think bringing more people into your vision helps it grow bigger, faster?
Totally. Yes, it does, is the answer to that. And there's so many of us that came in, somewhat maybe from our wounding, or, the cultural wounding, to do it by ourselves and think it's better, easier, more controlled to do it by ourselves. And I was a lone wolf for a long time. So I've been learning a lot about collaboration and just enjoying a lot more, enjoying the process, enjoying the teaching, enjoying the creation. I am collaborating right now. In fact, right before coming to talk to you, I'm in collaboration with Amber Rose, and she's been actually a student and then an assistant for a long time. For the last 5 years, she actually took a program with me, and then we just have been hanging out. She kept coming back here, especially when we moved here. So now she's co-facilitating with me fully. And I just love it. I'm just oh, this is so cool. It's so nice that when you can, and she's not my student, she's my sister, and now it's just it's not anything like that. I just also feel like it's so much more fun. Life is so fun. We have, I've run something called the guardianship training. This year it's called the Guardian Sacred Leadership Training, and her and I are collaborating on it, and it is just so cool. It's so amazing. We are not meant to do it alone, no matter how much we convince ourselves of that. Oh my goodness. And oh my God, perfect example is DTO and I. both of us had this vision a long time ago to have land and to share it with people and to bring the conscious work together and bring it out into the world, blah, 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 all the things. And there's no way I would have been able to do it without him. There's no way he could have done it without me. So we are like in full sacred partnership and collaboration, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, we got a lot of layers. You work with your partner too, don't you?
I do. And it's very much like that. I hear from a lot of people that it's very difficult to work with your partner. I think there's a lot of reasons why that could be. But if you both have the same vision and you're both willing to work on yourselves, look at your shit, be honest with yourselves, evolve, grow, work out the kinks that come along the way, then it's really a lot of fun. And you focus on your strengths, and those things tend to be like, like puzzle piece, and you become like an unstoppable force is what I've experienced.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I've definitely been in the tribe in the boat of holy shit.
Yeah.
And I love him so much, and we have so many layers, and you know, we're yeah, I mean, just to be like super transparent is like, yeah, we're definitely, because we've been in such a portal of construction and building on this material plane in the way that we have, it's taken a toll on our spiritual connection with each other, our romantic connection with each other. So we're in a whole new development of that and a whole newness around that right now, and giving it some energy, because we both are artists and creative, and we could keep going. And then we were like, oh, okay, so do we want to be roommates? Like, or do we want to just be co-partners for business and for creation on this level? Or do we want to see if we can find a new relationship in that? Because, yeah, we started to work together real fast. We've been together now 7 years. I think we're going on 8, or I think we're going on 7. I can't remember. It's going to be in February, whatever it is.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, it is. It's tough if you don't give your original relationship, you know, time and energy and yeah, growth in that area too. Mm-hmm. That's
Yeah.
my experience anyways.
And everybody's different. I mean, I've experienced it in my own relationship, but also I've heard that especially the longer you are together, the relationship kind of goes through phases, like there's times when it's more icy and times when it's more you're building and times when it's more your buddies or, and it's nice to be able to just allow instead of thinking that it needs to be a certain way all the time, you know?
Yeah.
But it's whatever works for you at the end of the day. It's whatever works for both of you. And that's going to be
Yeah.
unique.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Little marriage counseling session in between.
Yeah.
For partnership.
Yeah.
So going back to the property, because do you own the place? I mean, we're gonna get kind of personal, I guess, but I'm asking questions from a place of trying to understand how one would be able to create a place like this if they wanted to have one for themselves. So how challenging was it to own a property in Costa Rica or just internationally?
Yeah, I mean, if you've got the money, it's totally easy to buy something here that you get the full rights for, which I've heard in Mexico and Bali and places like that, you don't get to own it first full out, but here you do.
Okay.
So in that way, it's great. Um, yeah. So this place came to us pretty magically. I shared with you, like we were first renting it. It was available for sale, but it was also available for rent. She was just like ready to, put it out there for having renters in it. And then the owner let us know that she was, sorry, I thought I heard a door. Um, she was also, yeah, selling it. So when we signed the papers for this particular house, for the rent of it, for the lease of it, I just kept, after we signed it, it was like this. I was really having a spiritual experience with this house. I never have had that before. I've been a traveling yogini and have had lots of different homes and homes of friends. And like, just, the last 30 years have been a lot of moving, because also my trade, I was teaching at festivals and conferences and expos for yoga, health and wellness, and retreat centers all over the world as well. So I never had that experience with a home before, but boy, did I desire a home. Like, I always, my birthday's July 2nd. So those of you who know astrology, just do the math on that. And so I really felt such a connection with this place. I was like, whoa, just all the windows. And it just reminded me of something, like maybe an inner vision or something. But anyway, we had that experience. And then when we moved in, the owner's like, well, if you wanted to do owner finance, I'd be open to that. And so she threw that out there. And in the meantime, Crystal, it was crazy, because in the meantime, somebody else put an offer on it before we could even write her a letter of an offer. Somebody else put an offer on for cash. And we were like, oh, hey, we're not going to be able to compare to that. Our little humble offer. We worked very hard to even save up the bit of money that we would have put down on it and all of that. And I was just like, oh, no. Okay. So we wrote her a letter anyway. And we just were like, we felt such a spiritual connection to this land and to the community already. I haven't had that experience. So we wrote a letter from our heart. And she wrote back. And we also said in the letter, I'm like, listen, sister, I know you got an offer like for cash. I'm a businesswoman. I don't know if I would even give this letter a moment of thought and go with the other offer, because I get it. Like, money talks, and we don't have that. So here's what we could do. And we feel this connection and all that stuff. And we also totally respect whatever you need to do. She wrote back, yes, I do have another offer. And yes, I do need the money. And, I will still take a couple days to think about it. In those couple days, I was just I got to let go. I got to pull all my yogi skills of detachment into play right now. Because what is this shit? I remember talking to my sister and going, oh my God, Jamie, I'm just like, there's no way. I just love this house so much. What am I going to do? And she's like, do what our dad told us. Let go. If it's meant to be, it will be. It was such a powerful moment for me. Like, my baby sister, she's 2 years younger than me, just like saying this to me. I was like, oh, thank you. Okay, fine. So it took me a moment, though, to let it go, because I was just like, there's no way. I'm just going to let it go, let it go, let it go. I let it go so much that when she did finally write us the letter of, hey, I do feel like you guys are supposed to have this, but here's my offer back to you. This is how we could make it work. I had already let go so much that I was just like, oh, what? What? God? I didn't anymore. But then, like, within like a couple of hours, I was back to, when we got the thing, I was like 40, 50, like 40, 50%. And then within a couple of hours, I was like, what? We could make this happen. Oh my God. We'll definitely have to call in the spirits and the guides and the masters, to support, and the allies to, make this down payment, da 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 da. But I felt it. I felt the connection. And then here's the coolest thing. So she got this offer of this cash amount down that we couldn't even match, but what she had counter offered, and we were pulling that together. Well, we had a family member just come in and say, hey, do you want to borrow this amount of money to put towards it. So literally, she got exactly what she would have got from the cash offer from us. She did not know
Wow.
that in the moment. She didn't even ask for it. She asked for half of that. And we were like struggling to pull that together. So we pulled that together. But then our family member came in and said, "Hey, I'll lend you the money for like a really slow, like a low interest." So she got it was just like such power to her that she stood with, like really checking in with herself. It was such a cool experience because normally, that much
Mm-hmm.
money, whew, that money talks. So I was just like, and then everything that's been happening here is just like,
Yeah.
so it's been doing its thing.
Wow.
The land has been doing its thing. And I do believe that the land also chose us as we chose it. And there's a real beautiful synergy with the land beings here. And the land wants to work in this way. It wants to heal. It wants everybody that comes here so far. And we've already had, a couple hundred people at least come through on retreat. They all are just like, "Oh my God, my creativity has shot up. Oh my God, I just cleared up this old wound." Oh, and they go back with this energy and I really believe it's these beautiful land spirits that have been desiring to do the transformational work and support people healing and support, you know, all the magic happening here and the creativity flourishing and all of it. So thank you, land spirits. We love you. We're so happy to be in collaboration with you. Talk about collaboration. There's it. There it is. We're in collaboration.
Yeah. What a great story. And I love how it's such a powerful example of, well, a few things. One is when something is for you, it's for you. Like it's yours. Even
Yeah.
if a better offer comes along, I'm getting deja vu again. I was talking to somebody else earlier and I got deja vu. I'm getting like, we've been here
Oh,
before. This has all happened
yeah.
before.
Yeah.
So yeah, when it's for you, let go. And that's super hard for me to do. So I feel you on that because I'm very organized and I like to see things in their place and I like to have the problem solved and I like to have things things where they're supposed to be. So when there's something that's just like out there, I tend to panic and then I have to remember, okay, yes, just let it go. It's fine. If it's meant for you, it will be.
Yeah.
And then the other part is, just ask. Because a lot of times it's easy for us to just get defeated when something else comes along and we're like, oh well, I guess it wasn't for me. But don't just take the no. Like
Yeah.
if you really want something, you know, just go a little bit further and see if you can't, like what you did, connect on a deeper, more heart-centered level, because people really make decisions with their emotions.
Yeah.
So,
That was a really great lesson for me too. Totally how you put it. Like I didn't believe truly that someone would take the moment, you know, to actually feel into the rightful alignment. I really was like, well, the money talks, Um, yeah, so I was really grateful for that. I am grateful for that. And she's come back to the land. We invite her we've got different events that we do every year. And we actually do a Super Bowl party and she's come to our Super Bowl party. And she just like walks the land and she is just like, and the first time she came after she hadn't come for like about a year or two, and she just had tears. She cried, literally cried. She's like, "I'm not even a crier, but I just feel so grateful that you guys are taking care of the land and I could always feel it wanted to do more." And it just gives me goosebumps to say that. So it just feels so good to be, acknowledged from somebody who was the landkeeper here for 15 years. So
yeah.
it's such a blessing, such a blessing. Yeah.
Hmm,
Yeah.
glad. So how do you activate the space? Like what when you thought about, okay, we're going to make this into a retreat center, and obviously this is going to be a business. I mean, were you thinking about making it? It's a business, right? No?
It is a business now. Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely. But when we first started building, the Yogashala was for me. It was a dance space. And then seriously had no plans to make it as gigantic as it is. It is 1,700 square feet. It is so big. And then when we made it, we're like, oh, because first when we drew it out, like I was like, oh, okay, this is a perfect size for me and for my girls and like, and our people and family and all that. And then I don't know, I just tuned into all the years that I taught at festivals and how big those can get. Not that we were thinking a festival would come here, but I don't know, something said, let's just make it a little bit bigger. And I don't know how. I don't know how it got to be this big. But then as it was and we were building it and like half the floor was done, I was like, oh my gosh, what is happening right now? It just shifted. We already ran retreats just with the house without everything down there because my heart is in running and offering and facilitating transformational experiences, it's there. So I just I was doing it anyway. So then, yeah, then it's become a business. Now it's become a business where I'm on the other side of hosting. And I do feel like I'm ready for that. I feel like grandmother I don't want to travel all the time. I want to, before I was traveling like more than I was at home. And for years, I was just like, I could feel my body really desiring to be grounded more. And I love that this is a destination. Costa Rica's #1 tourist destination in the world. Plus, then it's also the #1 destination for people to even expat here, move here.
Mm-hmm.
So it just feels like such a great win-win. And now I am putting in processes and things I would have never thought that my brain could do. On the other side of it, offering it to our friends and our colleagues and our soul friends and our soul family to come and do their work here. And so my fellow facilitators out there, transformational leaders, all of you, like, yeah, come and play here. Come and play. It's so fun. You will not be sorry. It's definitely beautiful. Definitely a beautiful country. And yeah.
So now that you've done it and turned it into a business, would you recommend that someone have purchase a home maybe, and then they decide to turn it into a retreat space, have a retreat space, ultimately is what I'm trying to say, before creating community and brand like you did? Like, do you think it's something you can create while you're there in the house, or do you think it's something that you need to create and build before you have a space?
I think you listen and see what your vision is showing you and follow the vision versus thinking that you need to have everything set this way or that way, or just go one step at a time. That's how we've been doing it. But we are following what our vision is showing us. So I would say just keep tuning in and listening. There's no one way to do anything. That's something a DTO says a lot. Because I always want to do it the right way, whatever the heck that means. And there's not a right way. There is your way, and there is your deep truth way, your deep listening way. And so that's what I would say. And trust, but you really listen from deep down, like your sacrum, go down into your sacrum versus your head or your ego, because that's not gonna lead you to the truth. And that's usually a struggle. So I would say, really practice listening to your inner true self.
Okay.
Yeah. And align with your allies, like I aligned with the angels allies, the spirit land allies for sure, but then also the ones that I've been walking with for some time for the work that's been coming through over my lifetime. So, yeah, collaborate with them and be like, you show me, you show me. Yeah. And that's a whole other conversation, but yeah, that's something that that's even what the guardianship does is like we support you to open that channel up of communication with your allies and with your true self so that you can hear clearly, so you can see clearly, so then you can follow clearly.
And just
Yeah.
allow
Because,
things to unfold.
yeah, your next step will be shown to you. Yeah.
That is very difficult to do. Not impossible, but very difficult, especially when we live in a very physical world with physical benefits, but also consequences. So, we're always trying to find the way to go into things with the least amount of risk possible. And for the brain, that means having almost all of the things that need to be known, so it knows what you're getting into and that you're going to be safe.
Yeah. Well, you're going to be safe no matter what, because if you're listening, then it will be showing you something. And we all have our karma. We all have our different pathway of learning and growth and expansion, and whether it comes from like there's such a difference with your like ego desire versus your true dharmic desire. And when you align with the dharmic desire, I'm not even saying like, I don't know, 5-10 years from now, maybe I want to not live here and not be the caretaker and not be the facilitator of this beautiful ship that's here. That's really possible, but I'm going to keep listening until I get that time to shift or whatever. We don't really know. I never knew that I would that this would be happening, truly. So, is your birthday in September by chance?
Yes. Why do I seem very Virgo to you?
My Virgo, beautiful people. I love you. I'm surrounded by you. We're good for each other. Because I'm a watery person. So water flows and you follow the flow. And I have to say, even when I've never known anything. And the one thing when I first started teaching like trainings, the first thing I would say is like, I'm going to teach you how to follow your heart. I'm going to teach you how to like really, truly follow your heart, because the brain will be like, oh, now I got to take this training and now I got to do that. And now I got to do this education. And then I got to put this into place. And then I have to have this investor. And then I have to da 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 da. Whereas like there is this beautiful internal navigation system that we have, this GPS that can be unplugged from this brain that thinks too much, but thinks it's in charge. And that's not what is in charge. Your true internal navigation system is the one that's in charge in co-creation with the divine. So I know that's like all some funky ass words, but the truth is, I'll just make it simple and like follow your heart and listen to your heart. See if you can differentiate. There's a way that you can differentiate between your head showing you stuff and then your heart really showing you the pathway. So that's way more powerful. And that's exactly what DTO and I are doing here for this last, even 7 years since we've been together, but really like this last 5 years. I would
really
have never thunk it.
Yeah. I really appreciate this perspective, because honestly, I was expecting you to say something way more systematic and tangible, but it is really refreshing to hear a perspective of someone that really is just following their heart, and to know that just doing that without having everything worked out is is still a way to get to, or, it is a way, like you said, there are many ways to get to where you want to go. So it's nice to know that that works too. It's not just something people say, but it's your proof that it actually works.
Yeah, it does. I'm telling you, there's no way I would have thought, like, we're literally building a pool right now. If you would have asked me, I would have never imagined it. If I would looked at my bank account, I would have never imagined it because I was thinking. And if you really, for me, it was just like, oh, listening, and doors keep opening. And literally, oh my God, Crystal, it is so amazing when you can live in this way. I'm not a master at by any means, but there's something like, it's been showing me this last year, especially 2024 was like, just, we would see a vision. So we saw the vision of the pool and we just followed the next step. Literally, I wonder what that would cost. I wonder if you could get a few quotations, cotizaciones in Espanol. Like, we should get some quotes just so we know. Put it on our vision board. We get these quotes, and I have a friend that out of the blue just offers us money. And then we're having another experience right now because we just had the vision of having these beautiful accommodations. Because, to be a legit retreat center, we could have more accommodations here. And the same thing is happening. We like, if you look at the bank account, you'd be like, why would you even be thinking about that? You're like, so there's logic to it because we're just following the next step.
Mm-hmm.
And the universe, when you're in that flow state, because that's what children are in, and this is one of the biggest pillars of Embody, is going back to that state of the flow state of the child. That child wisdom is to not hold on to anything, to like fully express yourself, fully laughter, crying, shaking, vibrating, coming back into presence, coming back in. That's the neutral of the child. The neutral of, unfortunately, us adults and the Western adults especially, is that we've come into tension, stress, worry, disease, stress, cycle more and more and more. That's our neutral. But if we, one of the things again is like that we're teaching is like coming into that true neutral of your child wisdom, that genius inside of you that knows exactly how to create with nothing, knows how to create with sand, with dirt. So that's what I would encourage all of you that are listening and really hearing something here for yourself, to give your beautiful inner child the torch again. Let that inner child be the one that's guiding you, and follow what you see, that next little step. Okay, we saw the pool. Oh, okay. So we dug a hole. That hole has been sitting, literally like where I'm pointing, has been sitting on our front lawn for now 3 years. That's not even where we built the pool. So you never even know where the next step is. But we follow these little nudges, and now we've got a gorgeous, beautiful pool, almost done. And I just knocking on wood for the flow to keep flowing, and to not let that pesky mind, the yogis talk about that mind that will keep you from intimacy. It will keep you from connection. It will keep you from expansion. It will keep you from the true desires that you are here to create. So co-create. We're not the creators, but we are co-creators. So.
And I love the beautiful chimes in the background, just confirming all of this loveliness.
Yeah, the wind is like, with me.
Exactly. So I want to know more about what's on the property. So you have a yoga shala, you have a pool, or
Yeah,
you're about
we
to
have
have
a
a pool.
labyrinth. The labyrinth was the very first thing we
Mm.
did. And it felt so cool when we did it too, because it was like, oh, we're walking the land. We're like, force, if you were going in this labyrinth, you are going to keep walking this land. So that was the first thing that we did. We have a beautiful yoga shala. We have some really awesome hangout spots on the land. We've got outdoor showers
Mm.
and we've got these view spots. We've got these balconies and these view spots that are, you're like in the mountains. It's real, real special. But we're also in a town. So it's actually such a really, really unique spot. We also have like a pool coming, like we said. We've got some accommodations. We've got a whole terraza, so a whole beautiful patio that is our dining community area. We've got a hot tub. We have an indoor dining area with this gigantic, beautiful Guanacaste wood table. And that's a sitting on the ground situation, just like in our, when we would go to Gurdwara when I grew up. My parents are from Punjab, India, and we are Sikhs. And the Sikhs sit on the ground. The Hindus also, when we go to temple, we sit on the ground to eat. And so this big table is meant for us to like be connected to the earth as we eat our food. We have an industrial, beautiful kitchen where our gourmet chefs do their magic. And
So
what
you
else
have
do we
chefs
have?
on the property?
We have chefs that come to the property for the retreats. We have alliances with quite a few a handful of really good, high level, beautiful chefs. And then we have a tuk-tuk. We have a rickshaw. If you've been to India, they're called rickshaws there. If you've been to Thailand or Guatemala and all that, they're called tuk-tuks. They are like a little three-wheeler, 3 seats in the back, and then the driver. And DTO drives the tuk-tuk. So we have a little shuttle. We have a little shuttle that we
That's cute.
utilize to get people, just take them on little tours of the town and things like that.
And do you have a waterfall on the property, or is it close by?
It's close by.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. We've
Still,
got a
still
couple that we
amazing.
go to that are close by. Yeah. It's amazing.
It looks beautiful. So can anyone book with you as long as they align with the embody values?
Yeah. If you are doing, you know, exercise, yoga, physical work, even transformational experiences for corporations, because we're also open to incredible groups like that coming. If you're doing events for your people, and yeah, you can book with me. You can book a call with me, and we can talk about details. You can find us at embodydcostarica.com. You can also find us on Instagram at Embody Costa Rica. And yeah, I love having conversations, and we're booking right now into 2026. We have some spots still for the fall of 2025 open, and yeah.
That's amazing. Congratulations.
Thank
Booking
you.
it. Yes.
Yeah, we're in our high season right now, so woohoo! We just finished a retreat. We are starting another one. We finished our retreat in December. It was a couple weeks, and then we are organizing, hosting another one that's coming, and then another one. We've got like 5 retreats in the next few months, so yeah,
Wow.
it's pretty
Wow.
amazing for our new little startup company.
Yeah. And how do you make it profitable?
Um, yeah, our profit margin is a little bit lower than other retreat centers because we rent out luxury homes that are right walking distance to our location here. We put package deals together, so we just make it like so easy for the facilitators. We basically have one package price per person, and we prefer to have 10 plus people. That's how we get really profitable. But we
Mm-hmm.
have smaller groups coming. This group that's coming this week is 7 people. I just had a group of 8 people come in September, but then we also have our groups of 20, 30 people coming. Our retreat just here in December was 21 people. So the more people past 10, the better for us.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how many
Yeah.
people can you fit in your property right now?
In our property, logistically, we could, I mean, if we were really packing people in, we could fit 10, 10 people.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Oh,
when you,
I guess 12 actually. But
so when you,
then
yeah.
we like to give people like a really nice experience with the luxury homes, which they all have their own private pools and they're all walking distance because we've got like a real beautiful gated community right across the street.
Oh,
And
okay.
so
That's
we
really
have
cool.
alliances. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Nobody's complained. They definitely love the situation. Also, because we live in this mountain town, people love that we're not just an enclosed retreat center. I have been to so many retreat centers that you never leave the property and you feel like for sure, you did not see Costa Rica if you stayed at a retreat center. So, what we are bridging is the cultural experience here. Our neighbors are Costa Rican. We cannot live in this city without this town, sorry,
Hmm.
without us learning Spanish. So our visitors, our retreat participants love that they get to walk into town and have this really cultural experience. So
Yeah,
yeah,
that's nice. I
we're
like
stoked
that.
about it.
That's unique.
Yeah. Yeah. Because Costa Rica, I mean, I love a lot of the retreat centers. I've been to lots of them. And you can get real like, oh, but this is not Costa Rica. It's nice. You get the sunshine and you get the
Mm.
beautiful monkeys and all the things, you know.
Oh, what kind of
Hmm.
animals do you have walking around or flying around?
We have toucans. We've got here specifically in this region where we live, we get a lot of toucans. We get these guys called bisotes or coates, and they're like uh raccoons, but they have a long nose and a really long kind of like monkey tail.
Yeah.
Um, we got these things called agutes, and they look like a little kangaroo guinea pig kind of thing. Yeah, they're
That's so
cute. They're really
cute.
cute. We got lots of cool iguanas, gigantic iguanas.
Wow.
We get so many varieties of birds. We have literally I don't even know how many hummingbirds that we get here and all the different kinds of birds that come here. It's just yeah, and the butterflies and I know I'm forgetting some things. Oh, we saw an anteater just recently. That was so cool. Um, yeah.
Love that.
Oh, sloths also.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about the sloths. Sloth.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, wow, that sounds like a dream. That
Well,
sounds
you'll
like a dream.
come, Crystal.
Yes. Yes, I would love to. Also,
Yes,
I
please.
was talking to when I was doing the interview with DTO and he was
Uh-huh.
telling me how he has a recording studio. I think
Yes.
that's a great idea for a retreat. Just go there and
Yes.
record your single or record
Totally.
your three piece. What is that called again?
Meditation series and things like that.
Yeah,
Uh,
whatever. Just
yeah.
come out with a track or something. That would be really cool.
Yeah, we
So yeah.
actually do have some retreats that are specifically vocal, songwriting inspired, and
Yeah.
themed. So they are doing some recording with DTO, which
Okay.
is awesome.
EP. That's what I was thinking of. Your
Oh, your
EP.
EP.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Totally.
All right. Well, I
Yeah.
just have one last question then. Is there any message that you would like to share with the retreat community, or maybe even thinking back on your younger self, a message that you would give to her about this
Yeah.
retreat journey?
Yeah. I would say, and I am saying, to get in the game, to step into the game of your leadership and to know that it can be a pathway to you having your spiritual business or soulpreneurship or spiritualpreneurship, however you want to call it. But it is possible for you to have both the material world, abundance, prosperity, as well as you doing the good work. And there is a absolute emergence possibility on that. So to trust that and to follow it and to step in the game. And of course, if you want my support, I'm happy to support you on that. Is yeah, definitely is my specialty too. I think all of us healers, light workers, people that have been, really filling ourselves up, it is time for you to serve. And so why not serve and to profit? And there is everything good with that. I was going to say nothing wrong with that, but everything good with that.
Everything great. Yes. All right.
Yes.
Well, thank you so much. This has been fun getting to know
Mm.
you, and thank you for sharing all of your watery wisdom.
Yeah. Thank you for
Yes.
your earthy, logistical amazingness holding this container down. I
My
love
pleasure.
it.
My pleasure.